IBM TV's world headquarters in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. And from New Delhi, India, we present the Health Channel with ANKIT Kandlwal. Hi, I'm your host, Nick PALEVEDA, and today we have, of course, ANKIT from the Health Channel, that you all know, Kim CALHOUN, who's part of IBM TV, and a very special guest, and Amit from New Delhi. Amit, welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Okay, and you have this company called Matri, and we want to get right into it. Where are you from, and what do you do here at this company?
So I'm from India. I'm building a startup in the health tech sector, and Matri is nothing but Matri means mother in Sanskrit. That's how the word is divided. That's how the word came up. And we started this company 8 months back. This is my third company I'm building in the last 3.5 years. So right from the inception stage to the launch stage, which we've done, we've covered the journey in the last 8 months. And the idea for Matri was very simple. It is we're trying to, I would say, facilitate, not empower. We believe that every woman is empowered. It is like to just to enable her in some of the aspects which are missing due to the, she's busy or whatever it is. So we've covered 3 facets, which is basically a pediatric journey, which is when the kid is born until the 18th age we're covering up. We are coming up with an IVF concept as well, because IVF again is a big thing where a lot of parents struggle. And then there is an ops and gynae aspect as well. So anything which relates to a kid, whether it's a development thing, whether it's a vaccination thing, whether it's a growth thing, anything related to psychological health, mental health. So at Matri, at Nexus, we feel, we are a firm believer that the pregnancies are for 18 months, not 9 months. Why we say 18 months is that 0 to 9 is when the kid is born. After the 9-month actually journey starts, and we want to work with the lady and get her back to level of 0, where we're saying it's a 180-degree cycle, where she's better, physically fit, emotionally fit, psychologically fit, and mental well-being is taken care. So that's the whole concept around that. So, and idea is also to whatever the decision she needs to take about her family, about her elders' health, about her own health, about wherever she needs to go, what she needs to do for fitness aspects, we take that out, and she starts to live, she starts to breathe. That's what Matri is, and we will be working with in India for sure in the current new financial year with 50,000 mothers plus. That's the end. And when we talk about 50,000 mothers, I'm talking about 0.2 million people. That's what I'm talking about, adults in a family, her husband, fathers, mothers, brothers. And so because in Hindi there is one saying which I think Ankit would know, that Shashakt Nari, that means a powerful lady. So I believe that we believe in the company, if the lady is empowered, the lady is powerful, the house is fine, the home is good, the society is good, and the nation will be better. So that's what we see the foundation of the complete concept is in Nexus and Matri. Yeah.
Well, and I want to add something to this. Knowledge is power. And this is what you're providing. You're providing an organized system of knowledge, which gives you more power, this is beautiful. This is just beautiful.
So,
I wish I had one of these when I was pregnant.
Yeah. Well, let's start off with the first thing that this app does, vaccinations. What do you do in terms of vaccinations? I think it's pretty important, but how does this work?
So vaccinations, what we're doing is today we are working with the pediatricians in India. When we go to a pediatrician, a lot of times they're maintaining all these physical files to maintain the vaccinations, what kind of a brand they've given, what dates are, what due dates are there, what the dates. So we have seen the trend that that mothers have missed vaccination by a month, 6 months, year as well.
Right.
The idea is to sound them up that rather than your own self, the vaccination is such a critical element of the kid's journey. For example, you're just missing a polio vaccination, a polio drop.
Right.
It can lead to a disaster, right? So the idea is to tell them, not psych them up, just inform them that this is imperative, this is critical. And apart from that, what is happening in Matri is that the content is organic. I'm saying that we are not buying content. It is the content is coming from real mothers who've experienced this, who missed out on vaccinations, so she can push her content on a secondary app for a mother and tell her that, you know, you need to be slightly more careful over that aspect. Don't take it lightly, because
Right.
that is what the intent of putting the vaccinations are there. Development, as we said earlier, is that according to the Canadian Development Committee and all, it's been divided into 4 major parameters, and Indians Pediatric Society also follows the same. But we don't maintain it, we don't monitor it pretty well. There are
Hmm.
schools tend to do it, but idea was that, you know, the idea is that the mothers are more aware, the fathers are more aware, because these
Right.
days in India, what we've seen a trend is that fathers are more involved than mothers. They're more involved than kids. So they need to
Yeah.
be given in a more simplistic way that how can they track the development of the kid, and if there is some kind of so all these we've got like parameters mapped till the age of 5 or 6, which are there. Every parameters on the at the back end being mapped, whether with an emotional thing or a psychological thing, and they relate to an autism aspect as well. So any trigger which happens, then we can tell the mother to go and visit your pediatrician. Just
Hmm.
don't, you know, we
Yeah.
all are very
You
smart
know,
enough that do is that if we read too much on the Google and all that, we try and start drawing analysis on that. So idea is not
yeah.
is to tell that don't be. There are smarter people. There are people to do the job, which is your pediatrician. Just go to him. If you need a child psychologist, we'll arrange that. So we are not charging them for that. It's a kind of service where we're telling the mother that this is a psychologist. Go and meet her. Just go and talk to her freely, because what happens is that sometimes we all are shy enough. Sometimes we're reluctant to talk in public. So
Hmm.
that's a one-to-one meeting where she can talk to the pediatrician, the psychologist, and they can discuss that matter out. And
Right.
again, that same thing applies to the growth pattern as well, because growth is related to nutrition as well. It's related to
Hmm.
the physical well-being kid as well. So those parameters are related that the kid is eating right, kid is protein intake is fine, the carb intake is fine, as for the activity level. Because we have seen that kids they play. If they're playing, whether it's badminton, whether it's baseball, whatever, but the right intake, the nutrition intake is right or not. Right? So every aspect we're maintaining it there, along with the prescriptions. That means if the kid is sick, we know that, for example, the coronavirus is there, right? So we know if it happens in the cycle, right? You know, it happens in March, it happens in the Feb. Now we can tell the mother up front only, you know, that this is going to come in or some trend is going to come in. Your child, let's suppose, is allergic to something, is allergic to dust and all that. So she needs to be more prepared. So
Hmm.
that is
Prevention is better than cure. That's what we can say. So
needs to be more prepared on that aspect. So we are not trying to be the doctor there. The doctor
Hmm.
is the doctor. Only
Right.
is trying to prepare her that, you know, if there is some problem, go and meet your doctor. If you need
Hmm.
some other help in terms of any aspect, we are there to help you out as a team. So for us, that's the whole concept. And we have given her a provision to add reports as well. When we talk about reports, she can add any kind of a medical report in the system. She can maintain it, as Kim was showing, that that physical file needs to be removed, because there's a mother who's coming back from the office. She needs to take the kid for a vaccination. She's not expected to carry that complete file to the office, right? Or, you know, she has this app, and then she can track and maintain it at her level. And then she has the provision to share the information, of course, with the Data Privacy Act of the country, with the people she designates with. For example, she can share it with the husband, mother, father, whomever she feels like,
yeah,
that this is what's happening, this is what the trend is. So idea is to prepare the complete family around it, and make them more, free from travel. So there are mothers going to be traveling, right? So when she forgets a vaccination, she needs to get it done. She can use the app, update the information. She comes back to the country. The doctor is aware, okay, this vaccination was given in that XYZ country to this kid, so that all the information stays in hand.
so
Yeah,
That's
no, this is beautiful. You know, Nick, earlier we were discussing how we had books written about how to take care of your
Yeah.
child. Dr.
Right.
Spock, remember Dr. Spock?
Yeah.
Everybody had to have a Dr. Spock book. I mean, if you didn't have a Dr. Spock book, then you were marked as a bad parent. But what was unique about this and beautiful about this is the books or just generic. This is catered to your own personal situation and to the items that are necessary for your child to become more healthier, or for special conditions that it might have. It helps keep it all organized and collect the data in a means that we understand today, which makes it easier for us. And I see Ankit nodding, yep, this is it, you know, because we're so used to everything that is, you know, this oriented, that we just click and go, right? Take a picture. Yeah, the kid grew an inch. You know, and it replaces, and I'm this, right?
What
Yeah.
is that?
So,
What does it
With my
replace?
child. And if you open the book, things are going to fall out,
Is that the
right?
baby book?
This
yeah,
is
kind
the
of a
big book,
baby scrapbook.
right? And in here, I kept up with everything, just like what you're talking about. But, you know, like records, we even have a heartbeat in here, the sonograms, but, you know, everything that you think you might need, birthdays. But what's great about this app is that it's organized. It's not, you know, I love my book. You know, even the kids will take down their, you know, because I got a book about every child, whether I gave birth to them or not. And they'll take down their book and they'll go through it, and you know, but this is a good reference guide, and it's unique and customizable, right, Amit?
Yeah, it's customizable. That's what we've done there.
For
So it's
each
pretty much.
child, right?
So,
And
Yeah.
so Amit, are you doing any analytics as well, based on the reports? I mean, are there any graphs or anything like that as well?
We'll be building the AI engine is already in progress. So as the IVF journey kicks in, so the AI will kick in. And what we've done is also that during the pregnancy of the lady, let's suppose she goes through a pregnancy cycle one time. In the second pregnancy, the doctor wants to see the reports, you know, what kind of pregnancy was the first pregnancy. So she can completely keep that bunch ready with her. And in the second pregnancy, just pick up that bunch and just WhatsApp to or email to the doctor. And the doctor can see that, and, you know, they can arrive on that channel.
right.
So
So
that's where we are.
basically, so how a woman start with Medpri? I mean, if you can explain that, if someone
Yeah,
is willing to join Medpri, so what are the steps to join?
right.
Steps are pretty simple. So it's what we've done is there are two kind of business models we're working with today. There is a business to B2B journey, which goes through the doctor, and it goes through the doctor and to their patients today. And there is a larger consumer story which we intend to launch in 3 to 4 days of time, which is direct to consume to sale, and that goes
Okay.
through the normal payment gateway and all. So there is a
Okay.
simple login process where she puts in her phone number, she puts in her, you know, her name, her details like a birthday and a blood group, and she's in.
Okay.
Then
Okay.
she's able to add the baby. Simple as
Okay.
that. Second thing is we have given her the provision that if she wants to add a pediatrician, she can add. If she doesn't want to add a pediatrician, she doesn't want to add, it's fine. We will give
Okay.
her a list of pediatricians which are on Matri, who are on Matri. Now she
Okay.
wants to select that pediatrician, it's up to her. Third
No.
thing which we are now doing also, which I failed to mention, is that now the very important aspect for a lady of the house is that, you know, with our age of 40s and 30s, we have parents, we have, you know, maybe a sibling as well. Now they might have some problem, like maybe a cataract problem, maybe an ophthalmology problem, and all that. So we are getting the best doctors of Gurgaon, not every doctor of Gurgaon or an NCR. One doctor for per specialty will be part of Matri. So, for example,
Okay.
my father tomorrow has a cataract issue, he has some retina issue, some eye issue, and his reports are on Matri. Matri is going to recommend that go and meet this doctor today, tomorrow. And then we have a Matri card. Whenever he's going to visit the doctor, they can take a discount being a Matri
Okay.
consumer. And then their reports come onto it on Matri. And so at that point, what we are doing is that, as I was mentioning about the family, we have
Yeah.
cut down the term of senior in the concept. What I'm saying is seasoned. When you talk about
Okay.
seasoned, talking about parents as seasoned citizens. So their reports are in Matri today. Everything is on Matri today. So now she also will have an access to that her parents' report as well, and she will be able to track the blood pressure, sugar of her parents as well. So
Okay.
we are intending to get those bans. We were intending to get it from China now, but we'll see some provision in India where the blood
Okay.
pressure can be tracked. It can be gifted to my parents. There it can be handled device here, and I am able to check my parents' condition of a blood pressure there. The idea is, so that's what we're doing to get the best doctors in, and apart from the kid as well, whether it's ophthalmology, whether it's a basic renal problem, whether it's oncology and all that, we take care of that. And my
Yeah.
team and will be working on ground with this. We've already helped 6 parents do that. So I personally
Yeah.
went and monitored them and facilitated all the exercise. So everybody who joins Matri, idea is that we become part of their family. If they have a birthday tomorrow, if they have an anniversary tomorrow, we get an invite from them. So that's what it is. And as Kimberly was mentioning, that we will there if she has a provision to add photographs as well. The first, the teeth, the first birth and all that. So we
Sure.
will be printing hard copy albums and sending to the kids on their first birthday, just from an experience from our end.
And
So
it's always, the hard copy is always nice, but again, my papers slip out, as I showed you earlier. I actually have a lot of books, but I think what's great about this is that you can grow and change and be whatever is necessary at the time. Because current times always change, right? The needs always change, vaccinations might change. Having it maybe, even more interactive down the road, I think this is beautiful because you're not alone now as a mother. I could see a lot of teen mothers needing this, a lot of unwed young teens who become mothers and they don't want to listen to their mom. They don't want to listen to anybody. But this is that extra voice and maybe mom kind of thing that they need, because there's really kind of like financial literacy. There's really not a lot out there to help people really understand everything that needs to go on with a child. A lot of it comes with experience, your first child, right? And then the second child, you go, I got this, but guess what? Something got thrown in the way and it's a different situation. And then the third child comes and you go, I got this. But you find out you don't. And so having a tool like this, keeping up with each individual child would be nice, so that you're not going crazy trying to remember what happened. History is also difficult to remember unless you were like my mother, who wrote in her calendar every day everything that ever happened. I don't know how she fit it in those little squares, but she did. But not everybody's that organized, and this tool is great for
Amit,
that.
is this available in the United States? Can
Yes,
people
that's what I was going to ask. Can we get it in the U.S.?
yeah, so idea is to launch it to Canada and US in the coming month. So April we will do that. So we're just finalizing some stuff for the Indian market. I think April we should be there.
So
So do you think we have to follow some kind of laws or maybe some policies different from what we are doing in India? Because I mean,
So
the way
what?
we
Yes.
do the pregnancy in India is different from US. Yeah.
So in US we have a thing called HIPAA, which is actually they don't follow their own laws. They'll ask you questions right there at the desk in front of everybody. Um, so every answer you give, the whole waiting room heard. But so I really don't see anything that would interfere. Do you, Nick? I mean, you're more of the lawyer type.
Yeah, mainly what you just said is HIPAA, the privacy laws. In other words, you have to make sure your website and the information is secured and that people just can't access it other than the mother and the physician. So the HIPAA is important. And of course, you're not practicing medicine. You're basically storing data, what the
Yeah.
medical doctor does. I see medical professionals here could use it. All the OBGYNs could use it and then share the information with the mother, and the mother shares the information with the OBGYN. So it's a uniform data share. But the main thing is that you just have to make sure it's confidential, that you can't turn around and give it to, it doesn't get access by third or fourth parties, but that's the HIPAA rules that we have
Is
here.
it,
But it
is
would be
it
great to have it here in the United States.
So
yeah,
what
is
we've
it
done.
interactive where you can push out messages to parents?
Yeah.
So that's what
Notification.
messaging is. So that's what we have done. Is right? It has a birthday message. It's any kind of message can be put out. So on the legal front, what we've done is that the lawyers from the the legal lawyers, the medical legal lawyers are working with us, because one of the first things which we did with Nexus is that any agreement which we're signing with any doctor today, any hospital which we've done, they've been vetted by the best lawyers in the country, in the startup ecosystem, in the medical fraternity. Number
Right.
one. Number two is in India recently the bill is being introduced for the IVF, regularize the IVF industry and the surrogacy law. So we've got the lawyer who had put in the petition for the law. She is part of the Nexus team now. So for the IVF, what we're doing, any word which we are putting on the app or which we'll be putting on the app from a consent point of view, for the naming of the concept point of view, is going to be vetted by her. So that's being done. So our HIPAA compliant is part of the roadmap for sure, because we want to be HIPAA compliant, and I think by the first Q1 of the Indian financial calendar year, which is April to June, we intend to get it done. So I think we'll take some help from the US counterparts in terms of whatever is needed at our end to do that, whether it's hosting of the services, whether it's any of the way we are structuring our databases and all. So I think we'll get it done. So we're pretty confident of that part.
You know, what I see as a scalable model for this, and maybe it's even something that you can put in, is you know, a lot of times there are so many recalls for baby products, real recalls, and if there happens to be that, if you had a recall action item out there that you can share with parents, so that they're not like, I'm the kind of parent that would have missed out on recalls because I don't watch the news, I don't listen to it enough. So I'm the parent that would miss out on every recall out there. If it weren't for my parents still being alive, I wouldn't have known about any. So, you know, maybe something like that would be really cool on an app like this.
So there is a section known as a Matri Care into it. So what we're doing is that any product. So one of the things which we have done in Indian market is that we're tying up with some unique concepts. When we're tying up with unique concepts, I mean to say that there is a diagnostic lab which will be part of this concept. Okay. There is going to be a genetics lab which is going to be part of this concept. So as the kid is born, a newborn screening test can be conducted. So we're going to inform the mother that why don't you get it done. So we're not going to push it, just going to inform her that. Third thing is any of the baby product which we intend to get on our platform, we are going to vet that out from our quality checks. For example, if I'm putting a baby wipes product onto it, I'm going to vet that out with my real mothers, 20 or 30 mothers, because after all, it's a reputation of the brand, right? It's a brand building exercise. We don't want to dilute it for any instance, and we're going to put our name onto it. It's going to be baby wipes by Matri. It's going to be baby powder by Matri and all that. So, and customer relationship management. That's the key to this process. So idea is to get that insight in the consumer so well that tomorrow if we know that there's a baby with 10 baby wipes or 2 powders or what his birthday is coming in, we are there to support it. So there is a way, what we've done for a birthdays concept, you know, there is a very interesting gentleman in the city who's building up real games. It's not a video games and all that stuff. It's real games. We used to play in our childhood, right? The blocks and all that. So they are doing these games from a perspective of autism and all that stuff. That you go and play with your kids, you know, leave the kids free. So those are unique concepts which Matri is going to tie up. So we don't want to tie up with the Domino's. We don't want to tie up with the pizza chains and all that stuff. It's something which is healthy, something which is educative, something which is unique. That's the value proposition there, and it is up to the mother. So there is a badminton academy in Gurgaon. We've tied up with them as well. So idea is that by June, we want to conduct a Matri tournament with 50 to 100 mothers being there. We're going to encourage them to go out and play with your kids. We're going to sponsor that event for sure. And whatever it may cost us, but we're going to do that. And by Diwali, which is, September, October, we want to have a marathon for the Matri mothers, where I personally see 20,000 mothers running on a stretch, and we launch the fitness aspect of that because that's what we see is a key, and everything concept is going to be unique in every. So what we're doing in the March last week is we are having a coffee meet with our doctor. So idea is, so for example, any OPD which happens with the doctor today, it's a 5 or 10 minute maximum. The doctor doesn't have time because the traffic is so huge, you know, the patients are waiting. So these 15, 20 mothers we're going to invite. It's going to be a very casual coffee meet, which the doctor is going to come. They can talk, chit chat, whatever. We're going to have a photographer in there. So the photo session of the mother and the baby will be conducted there, just as an experience there, that we were there, we are there to support you and facilitate you. So I build up a very clean system for them, so that and I see it as a very longer story, because for me, Nexus is in a 1 year time, I see Nexus stores opening up like the Apple stores in Delhi and Gurgaon, where a mother comes in, her father comes in, they sit, they know their health parameters, the doctor is there, they can talk to the doctor. I know the kind of pulses she's going to eat, the kind of rice she's going to eat. Why does she need to buy somewhere else? I know the preferences. She just goes and buys, and I can deliver it at home. Take out every one from her basic life and let her live. That's the concept around that. And we are, I think, on a great journey on that part. We today have around 200 plus mothers on the platform, just launched a month back. And by March, we should have 700, 800. And by, I think, September, 40,000 plus. We should be there.
Wow. So you're working with some doctors right now. Well, women can access this. I think this is a tool that insurance should pay for.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Here in the United States, the insurance companies would pick up this in a heartbeat. But we're running out of time right now, so we do want to thank Amit and also ANKIT and Kim from coming to the Health Channel at IBM TV, and we look forward to bringing Amit back and finding out the new developments in this area of Matri, because certainly it's something we need in the United States. Yes, Kim, I know you're going to wait.
Okay, so Amit, tell everyone how they can reach out to you. I know we've been posting up your site. Tell us how they can reach you.
I'll do that. So there is I can share my Facebook accounts and all that. There's a social media channel which we have opened up, so people can reach us there. Website, we're going to share that, and website is pretty matri.in. That's the Indian thing, and they can reach out there. And I think we'll look forward to
how people can download the app, basically, if you can mention about that as well.
The app is already available on the Google Play and iStore.
Wow.
Store. It's already there.
Okay.
As we open up for the US and the Canadian markets, we will facilitate more. For the Indian market, it's pretty open there. They pay and they go in.
Right.
Great.
How much you charge for the app?
We're charging, I think the one package is $30 one time for life. The other package is $35 or $40 one time for life. That's it.
Wow, it's a great deal.
Wow,
that's great.
That's nice.
You could get Infomil to pay for that.
Right. Yeah. Well, thank you, Amit, for coming to IBM TV, and we look forward to seeing updates on Matri, which has worldwide application. Take care, and thank you for watching IBM TV.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amit. Thank you.